This is video 5 of our work with logarithmic functions, and we're going to finish up the last few examples here. So in the next problem, again, we're doing rough sketches of these graphs. We have negative log base 2 of x. And just remember that that negative that's outside, everything that's outside is vertical. So because it's a vertical reflection, so think about vertical up and down reflection, it's going to be over the x-axis. So it's over the x-axis. So if I go back to my parent function, if I take this axis and flip it over the x-axis, I get exactly the same thing. So the asymptote doesn't change. This point is on the x-axis, so it also reflects onto itself. But what will happen is the actual graph, this part that's down will reflect up. This part that's up here will reflect down. And so we're going to end up with same asymptote, but the graph looks like this. And make sure that you label that with a 1. All right, the next one, remember when it's an inside change, then it's horizontal. All right, so horizontal being this way, so horizontal reflection is over the y-axis. So my original function, and again, you might want to turn off your video and do this one on your own. So when I reflect over the y-axis, the asymptote, which is the y-axis, doesn't change. This point that used to be at 1, 0 is now over here at negative 1, 0, and then the entire graph flips over also. For these, if we just think about these, the domain of this one is going to be from 0 to infinity. The range is again negative infinity to infinity. The domain for this one, you might try to write it down on your own first, is negative infinity to 0, right? So it goes left and right, it goes to the left forever, but it has 0 kind of, sort of at its maximum there. And then the range is going to be from negative infinity to infinity. All right, the next one, if you'll notice, has two different things going on. So you might even think of this, if you want to think of this as like plus and negative, this is the same as negative log base 2 of x plus 5. So remember that when you have two verticals, that you have to do the reflection first and then the shift. So this would be a reflection over the x-axis, and we actually have already done that. That's back here in number 5, isn't it? What you see here, negative log base 2 of x is this. So you can just say, okay, this is where I am right now in problem 5. Now I'm going to move this up 5 units. So if I do that, then the asymptote stays the same. And this point that's at 1, 0, think about the ordered pair, going up 5 units is going to be at 1, 5. So there's the location, the new location of that x-intercept, and the graph just looks like that. All right, then the, and by the way, the domain for this one is still 0 to infinity. The range is still negative infinity to infinity. All right, then the last one, this one has that same vertical change, but which is the flip, and then it's plus 1. And so this one, when I do, again, this change right here, that gives me still what I have in problem 5, but I'm moving it up 1 unit. So that means I'm adding 1 to the y-coordinate. And so that means that this is going to be same asymptote, x equals 0. Should have had the equations on these, I guess. X equals 0 for all of these. This one back here was x equals 5 if I want the equation. And then this is going to be now at 1, 1 when I take that x-intercept, which is right here, and move it up 1 unit. And then here is the graph. Okay. All right, and then this example, actually, rather than making a video, I'm just going to refer you to your textbook. So just see your textbook, page 408, and that will work through that problem with you.